Hey guys, how are y'all doing? Okay, yeah, this is rough, y'all. Ooh, if you can handle it, trigger warning, okay? This is the kind of people that you're dealing with. When you have people out there that are, offering you money to do something, but probably not telling you the whole truth of what or why, um, you might want to avoid that because it may be blood money, okay? These people that are doing these things, including, offering payment to people at this hotel and getting the maintenance people and other people involved to do this shit and this shit just to try to fuck with me. I wonder if they know who they're taking money from. I watched a video. It was a reading. And when he started talking, it was Mr. Ace of Swords. And when he started talking and he said something, and, it's fucking horrible, okay? It had something to do, with a cat, okay? And these sick people, okay? And when he said this, then I get this vision, this flash of, a picture, and it was Rasputin's leg. It was, crazy swollen, like cellulitis, looked like, I don't know, it was horrible. And there was like these scratches on his leg. I'd just never seen anything like that. I'm like, what the fuck? And he said, oh, it was some log or something, ripped him open. No, it looked like something was like clawing the fuck out of him, And then when you plug this in with what he said and you're realizing, wait a fucking minute, and, something horrific has to do with beast, and then maybe adding on ality. And this is somewhere that the house that they're at, there's all kinds of cats. Stray cats. He's sitting there talking about catching them for the cat lady or whatever. No, I think he's catching them and doing horrible things to them. And, oh, we found it this way, or, they killed it. And this person said something about a choo-choo train. So it was also Right Rapper Boy, Ace and J, piece of shit, the twit that messages me and is acting as though he is, we'll say Michael Landon. You can remove the Michael. There's no, the name apparently of the person that they had me married. The government forced me into marriage to get my son. Okay, so that person, that wasn't even his real name. Okay, so his, history or whatever it was all fake. Okay, because, there's just no way that name is on my mother's posters, the same last name. Okay, from when she was, young. These people can't create, they can't think, so, these people are sick. They're so sick. How are they walking around free, doing damage to anyone they want to? They pay anyone off. These people take the money and they do everything. And I'm talking law officials. There's dirty police. There's dirty everything. Corrupt judges, corrupt system. It's all broken. And it's been infiltrated so that they can run this. And CPS, they use that to traffic children. That's what they do. So what, people know this, it's put out there and no one does anything. They just sit there and, oh, well, it happens. And, the system stays the same, nothing changes. Bullshit. They don't have the right to do this. The system is broken and that's why it stops, because no one's doing anything right. Are you going arresting these people? Are you freeing the people that need to be freed? Something has to be done. Everything's been infiltrated, and it's been proven over and over again. These, these hotels are involved. They're involved with what's going on, and they do this at the hotels, and it's about forcing people into doing something in order to survive, and not giving them a way out. like they have the right to do this, and force them to, live in expensive hotels and not give them a place to live. The reason that they have all this set up that, for you to get a driver's license, you have to have all this stuff that there's no way you can get unless you've got a handler and control over you. Do you see how this works? That is the system that keeps people human trafficked. The people that hurt animals are the people you don't want around, loose and free. Okay? Or you don't want on this, continent. Okay? I don't think you really grasp this, but they're sick people. These are not people. Let's put it this way. They live on Mother Nature's planet. Okay? It's from her energy, all these, things are birthed. What right does someone have to think that they can do whatever they want? That they're little sick children in adult bodies and laughing about the pain that they put anything else through. Okay? These people are going to have karma so bad that it's going to be a drop in the bucket to what they've done to everything else. Because they don't learn. They've never learned. It has to be so bad that their soul will never forget it, and they'll never do this to another being again. They're probably going to be stuck in purgatory for thousands and thousands of years. It's going to be bad because they've never stopped. They keep doing the same things, and this has been over centuries. This has gone on. They've never learned. This is all a setup, this whole entire system that, this is your new world order system. And they're going to give you all the chaos until you agree to what they want. And when you agree to what they want, then they come in and act like they're your saviors, but they're coming to devour you. You, your children, your animals, it doesn't matter. These people are sickest beings that have ever walked anywhere. They don't belong on the planet, really. They're sick. They're sick. And the government uses their systems to hand the sickest people children. Go listen to Jordan Maxwell about Saturn and the black cube, and look at your TVs. Look at every damn thing. It all has to do with black cube things. And the whole wano saving crap, the E equals MC cubed. They're talking about the cube, the black cube. The psychological warfare to get everyone where they want them to be so they have control. And they come and just devour everyone. They end up with all the money. They end up with all the resources. And they tell everyone else what to do. Is this the world you want to live in? Because this is not the world I want to live in. It's sick. And it only gets worse. This is what these people do. They're evil. And you have to choose to wake up. The red pill. You have to make this choice. Otherwise, if you stay blue-pilled, they come and devour you. You, your children, your everything you have. They want to take, you, do a destiny swap with you and wear you like your clothes. This is what they've been doing to me for a long time. They've done it to my mother. This has been going on for a long time. They completely MK Ultra'd her. They do this to people. They know how to hack into people to take control of them. The only way that you're safe is to choose, the spiritual path, not the religious path. The religious path is, for people that are afraid to go into hell, and the spiritual path is for those that have been through it and, they've learned the right way, the right way to go. This is no way to do this at all. But they're coming for everybody if they're not stopped. So, what say you? What do you say to stopping the cabal? Who is really truly up for the cabal falling? It's time to put out this information that they don't want to get out there. That's, the big nightmare of their life, for people to see who they really are, to know who they really are, what they've done, that they're pedophiles, that they steal children, that they steal adults, that they, how can I put it? That they make them disabled. Okay? They have all kinds of ways of doing this. These people are not right in the head. You need to start looking at, how do you sit there and eat meat, but then turn around and get mad at someone harming an animal when you're eating an animal that was harmed for you to eat it? Think about that. Look at your teeth. Your teeth are not made for you to eat animals, the big lie. It is literally keeping you separated from the divine. So you really think that's a great idea to eat meat? Do you know how great you feel eating, foods that are better for you? It took me a little while, but when I quit eating meat, and it wasn't that much I could eat, so I would eat, what I was able to, until I was then able to eat, like the fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. But I was kind of limited to, just a few of what I could eat until I was able to branch out. It's different for everyone, but these people have, been poisoning me my whole life. Doing all kinds of horrible shit. Everything they could do to kill me. Because they don't want me to reveal who and what they are, because as soon as that's revealed, it's over. It's over. When you do videos, and it can actually save lives, because when people know and realize what it is that they do and what they've done, it's all over. They can't do these things anymore, because then they know everyone knows. The shame, the guilt, the everything that they've been projecting onto others, because it all belongs to them only. Don't let them harm anything ever again. Put this out there. Let everyone see it. Let the truth be known. And trust me, this is enough. What I've got in these videos, even though they were torturing the hell out of me through it all, poisoning me, keeping me sleep deprived, setting up every little scenario, it's like a Truman Show they're trying to set up to fuck with me. Really, I'm looking at the end game, and that's ending the evil. That's what I'm looking at. And I'm looking for people that want to stop the end of the evil. I get it that people don't realize the top and where this comes from, but I'm telling you, if you search, back in history, and I don't know, I just apparently have this knack, but the Medicis, I've searched them back to the Medicis and all the way back to the Caesars, but they were the ones that were putting up the Pope, who was going to be the Pope. They had their person in there. They ran everything. Because, I've posted where Jordan Maxwell saying everything comes from the Vatican. Yeah, but they didn't know who was running the Vatican. And wasn't it said, I can't remember, but something like the Antichrist will come from somewhere over, I think it had to do with where Hitler came from. Where'd he come from? Austria or something? Anyway, something like that. I don't remember it exactly, but I'm just saying. But it's these people, they're the ones that are at the top. And if you look at the Medici, the whatever that thing's called, the coat of arms, that's the looks like a slice of pizza. It also looks like, the round, things are supposed to be, for pills or medicine, Medici. And then you look at the pharmakia. When you really look at everything and all the symbolisms, and, it's the way I grew up, y'all. I just don't know how else to explain it to you. It's like seeing and knowing something, and when shit, I even read it in a book, The Angels and Demons. I'm seeing like, holy shit, because it's talking about the Illuminati, and I don't think I ever heard of that word before then, okay? Or maybe even Freemasons. I've heard of Masons. But in reading that book, I'm like, oh, this is true. I knew right off the bat it was true. It's a knowing. You're just like, I know this is true. Even if other people are like, yeah, okay. No, it's based on your experience and what you've known. And, you can remember things from past lives too, But these people are twisted sick. And people that have, done hunting and all this stuff. And yeah, I know that there's hunters that help animals. But why don't we all choose to stop, hunting and hurting animals and choose to instead, or getting mad at them that, you have a garden, they come eat it. Why not build them their own little garden? They're trying to feed their families too. Think differently. When you take care of Mother Nature, what do you think that Mother Nature will do for you? Especially if you're growing something. If you're doing what you can to feed others, not just people, but animals too. If you're giving back, if you're, doing these things, that's huge. It's compassion. Those that don't have compassion, I'm telling you, these people are going to have karma like you have no idea. People are going to see it. Who's bearing good fruit? Who's pretending to be good with animals? A lot of these beings have animals and they're not good to them. Notice these things. Notice how people treat them. There's a difference if someone's trying to shoo like a cat away so that it's not going to get harmed. Like by a dog that's coming or another cat or whatever the case is. And it's another thing when someone's being mean, and stomping to be mean to scare something. Mother Nature sees all of that. And you will pay karma for every fucking thing you do. Everything. What you put out there comes back because you are literally telling the universe, this is what I want. So you scare an animal, you're going to get a bigger scare in a much worse way than you could ever think of. It is going to be multiplied so that you learn your lesson. This is how the universe works, okay? The world is our school, okay? So that's something to really think about, We've got to put a stop to this evil. We can't let this run rampant, but we need people to wake up and know what's going on, what these things are doing. I don't want anything to ever have to suffer through that ever again. And the whole entire world needs to know what kind of an animals exist that do this to other beings. Okay, everything has a soul. The animals have a soul, people have a soul. What right do you have to say, oh, well, they don't have a soul, they're different, they're animals, da 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 da? Bullshit. Bullshit. I mean, when you've seen an animal go nuts over a certain food, you're like, okay, wait a minute, this animal knows about this food. Like they had it as a human being. It's like human being food. Just weird things like that. It's like this animal knows things they shouldn't. Just a bit too obvious. And do you ever think that when an animal steals meat, like say you're cooking meat and the animal steals it, perhaps that's the universe telling you, no, that's meant for the animal, not you? You have to look at things differently. The universe can be teaching and telling us things, but are we seeing? Are we noticing the signs? You really do have to stop, sit down, and wait to hear that small, still voice. I mean, is that a horrible thing to do when it comes to saving you and your family, your kids, your other loved ones, anyone, from sick, twisted people and pedophiles, and to save animals from them too? You need to be able to see clearly and have discernment. We need to have people that are awakened so that, we have a way of letting each other know, to alerting each other, hey, you see what I see? Yep. Their systems have failed. They haven't worked. All their systems do is keep people, unable, those that are unable to buy or sell. And it's the wicked ones that are keeping them from being able to, and lying to everyone else. Sitting there saying, oh, well, they're this or they're this. They do a whole slander campaign. That's bearing false witness. What about the Ten Commandments? These people profess to follow the Bible, but you need to realize the Bible is basic instructions before leaving Earth. Basic. Very basic, because you need to realize who wrote the Bible. Really get into that. I mean, King James Version, and then, wait a minute, but his, there's Mother Mary, and his mother's name was Mother Mary, and she was literally martyred, but he's calling himself Jesus. Do you see that? By him writing that book. Think about that heavily, and think about who influenced him heavily. John Knox. John Knox, the Geneva Bible, y'all. John Knox, that's the same being as Rasputin. That's the same. Same soul, same characteristics, same patterns. The half-brother, you know what I mean? It's kind of weird. Like Jordan Maxwell is the greatest story, ever told. And they did this to control people. And to take from them. To use people as batteries, and the ones that are like that are the ones that, they're the Caesars, the Medicis, the ones that came up with ways, like the men would have, they'd be kings or whatever, and they'd have mistresses and all this stuff, so that they would have lots of children that were basically unknown about. So they had all kinds of ways to work their way into a family or a bloodline, to do it without people realizing what they were doing, because that was all they cared about, was power. They were very power hungry. But Mother Nature and the divine have a way of extracting what doesn't belong in a bloodline. So, but yeah, to take these people down, if this was to get out, I'm sitting here telling their secrets, I'm saying all kinds of stuff. That's their biggest nightmare. That is their biggest nightmare. Is for this information to get out, for people to know who they are, what they do, what kind of people they are. That is their biggest terror, their biggest nightmare. Yeah, I sure would like to make their nightmares come true. These people are the Freddy fucking Kruegers. It is time for their nightmares to come true that they've been putting on everyone else. All right, y'all. And this is literally out of love, because you got to protect the others, the innocent, and they've got to go through what they've got to go through to be changed forever, so they don't ever harm anyone ever again. And whatever the universe does, but I'm telling you, from what I've known of these people for lifetimes, their patterns, they've never changed. Nothing has ever changed. They've gotten worse and sicker. You need to think about it that way, and think about it as on a soul level. And it may be that the universe just completely wipes them out. I don't know. But it's going to be bad. But it needs to be. It has to be, in order to stop it. All right, y'all. Take care.